The midday sun hung high over Chen Tang Pass, its golden light shimmering off the waves of the East China Sea. The scent of salt and wind carried inland, mixing with the warmth of the stone fortress that overlooked the vast waters. The soldiers stationed along the walls stood at ease, their gazes drifting lazily toward the horizon. It was a rare, peaceful afternoon, but not for Nezha. The 7-year-old warrior streaked across the sky, his windfire wheels spinning beneath his feet, leaving behind trails of flame. He dove, flipped, and soared, his laughter echoing through the air. His fire-tipped spear glowed in his hand, twirling effortlessly. On the ground, a group of village children gathered by the shore, watching in awe. "Look at him go," one boy gasped. "He's faster than a shooting star," another added. But Nezha wasn't flying for show. He was testing his limits. He had been training under Tai Jinren for months now, honing his combat skills. His mother, Lady Yin, often warned him not to stray too far from the fortress, but Nezha had never been good at following rules. He leaned forward, urging his windfire wheels to carry him higher, faster, toward the glittering ocean beyond the cliffs. The vastness of the sea stretched endlessly before him. He breathed in deeply, the salty wind filling his lungs. It was exhilarating, and then he spotted something strange. Far below, just beyond the shallows, a massive shadow moved beneath the water. It was no ordinary fish. The shape was too long, too sinuous, and when it rose near the surface, scales glistened. Nezha grinned. Finally, something interesting. He tilted downward and dove. The air howled past his ears as he plunged toward the waves, his fire-tipped spear spinning in his hand. The sea rushed up to meet him, and he vanished beneath the surface. The water engulfed him, cool and silent, but Nezha had no fear. His magic allowed him to move as freely in water as he did in the sky. He kicked forward, his red silk sash flowing behind him like a living serpent, propelling him deeper into the blue depths. And then he saw it, a massive serpentine figure, coiled among the coral reefs. Its eyes flashed like molten gold. Its body stretched over 30 feet long, its scales shimmering with iridescent light. The gills along its neck flared, releasing a stream of bubbles as it turned its enormous head. A dragon. Nezha's heart pounded with excitement. He had read stories about the Dragon Kings, ancient rulers of the sea. He had always wanted to meet one. With a grin, he twirled his spear and called out, "Hey, big guy, you the one in charge of this place?" The dragon's eyes narrowed. Its long, whiskered snout curled in displeasure. "Who dares disturb my waters?" Nezha laughed. "Name's Nezha. I was just flying around and saw you." The dragon's golden eyes darkened. "You should not have." Before Nezha could react, the sea exploded around him. The dragon's massive tail swung with the force of a tidal wave. Nezha flipped backward, narrowly avoiding the strike. His grin widened. "Oh, you want to fight?" He twirled his spear, its tip glowing. The dragon roared, the ocean trembling with its fury. Nezha surged forward. The battle had begun. The dragon was fast, but Nezha was faster. The beast lunged, its fangs bared, but Nezha whipped around, his red silk sash wrapping around the dragon's snout and yanking it sideways. The creature twisted, its golden eyes blazing. It lashed its tail at him again. Nezha spun his spear and slammed it into the tail, sending out a shockwave of energy that cracked through the water. The dragon reeled back, its massive body coiling, its gills flaring wildly. Nezha could see the disbelief in its eyes. This was no ordinary human child. Had enough? Nezha teased, resting his spear on his shoulder. The dragon's nostrils flared. "You are powerful, but you are reckless." Nezha shrugged. "Yeah? Well, I like having fun." The dragon's golden eyes narrowed. Then, suddenly, The water rippled with power. Nezha's body froze. A crushing force wrapped around him, dragging him downward, his limbs suddenly heavy as stone. It was as if the entire sea had turned against him. The dragon's deep voice rumbled. "You are too arrogant, little one. Let us see how well you fight without your powers." Nezha struggled, but the magic was too strong. The ocean itself was pressing in on him. His windfire wheels flickered weakly. His silk sash drooped. For the first time in his life, he couldn't move. The sea rushed past him, a blur of blue and green as he was pulled deeper, deeper, toward a palace of shimmering jade and gold nestled in the ocean's heart. Nezha gritted his teeth. So this dragon wasn't just any dragon. This was Ao Guang, the Dragon King of the East Sea. And Nezha had just pissed him off. The palace gates loomed ahead, guarded by towering sea creatures armed with tridents. As Nezha was dragged toward the entrance, he finally snapped. Oh, that's it. His fire-tipped spear blazed to life, heat bursting from it despite the water.